This is how I take care of little baby caterpillars. When they're very tiny, I keep them in these little containers, and I have mesh here and I hot glued it onto an opening. That way they're breathable. You don't want to keep the caterpillars in a container where they can't get clean air in. So whenever I open these up too, I open it carefully because sometimes the caterpillars are on the top. So check to make sure they're not here in the top. And then I check in the cage. This is the old leaf right here. He's not on the old leaf anymore, which is good. I carefully take this up and flip it around. Oh, there he is. And if you guys can see that tiny little caterpillar there. So every day I give them fresh leaves to eat, and I will cut down this old leaf because I want to encourage them to climb onto the new leaf. Sometimes I try and take them off of the old leaf, but they're so tiny that I don't want to hurt them. I also make sure I give them clean paper towels. So this one's coming out. I'm going to put in some fresh paper towel, just a little bit. And then I went and I picked fresh leaves. These are really big ones. Sometimes they're not this big, but I rinse them off really good because sometimes there's other little bugs and things on them. So this has been rinsed. Don't ever use soap, just rinse it with water. And then I dry it to just pat it dry on the paper towel. And now for this little guy, he doesn't need a whole lot of leaves, so I'm just going to cut off a tiny bit. And this much is all he needs. So I will put that in there. And then I'm going to very carefully just cut this old leaf. I'm going to cut it around the caterpillar, because I want him to go on the fresh leaf, but I don't want to pick him up because he's too tiny and I don't want to knock him down. So I cut it down really small, and then sometimes I just flip it upside down on top of the fresh leaf. And then I put their container back on, and then I check the next one. Now he is a little bit bigger, so he's going to be ready to go into the large cage. I don't want to keep him in a little container anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a leaf, and I'm going to make sure it's dry, so I'll just pat it down. And then for him, what I do sometimes is I will take this old leaf and I will take a clothespin and I will clip it right up onto here. But I think what I'm going to do today, because I want to get rid of this old leaf, I'm just going to cut it down and see if he'll climb onto the new leaf. And then I'm going to put this in the cage. Once he climbs onto the new leaf, then I'll clip it up. So we'll just put that in there for now.